A significant ice storm is on the way this weekend. I'm tracking our town-by-town ice totals and who has the greatest risk of power outages.
Winter weather is on the way. We're going to take a closer look at how utility companies around the area are getting ready.
Eerily similar. That's how this upcoming storm compares to the historic ice storm of 2002. But our ability to forecast and respond has come a long way in 20 years. How we're better prepared this time around. All right, everybody, here we go. A state of emergency is in place. A winter storm is hitting our area this weekend, and it's looking like that winter part of it is taking the form of ice, and lots of it. You see that major ice storm label here for much of central North Carolina, and then it looks like moderate and minor as we go further east. But don't let that get your guard down, because a ½ inch of ice can mean really big problems on the roads, on the trees, and on the power lines. Kat Campbell joining us. Kat, we can't stress enough how much just a ½ inch of ice can add to the gravity of this situation.
And that's why I'm going to take some time with you tonight to really walk you through what those numbers mean. First, let's talk about what we're going to see. You may still see some sleet at the beginning of this event, maybe if you're lucky a brief window of snowflakes, but this starts to quickly turn to freezing rain for everybody. South of Raleigh, it's pretty much all freezing rain anyway, but from Raleigh north, you may still see a little bit of sleet at the onset. The freezing rain is what's going to be the bulk of the precipitation, and it's going to be the problem. That's why we're going with the WRAL freezing rain forecast map for this ice storm. ½ inch to up to an inch of freezing rain in spots will be possible. This includes all of the triangle points north and west. East of Raleigh, south of Raleigh, about ½ inch of freezing rain. And then southeast of there, as you get closer to the coastal plains, southern Cumberland and Sampson counties, it's less than ½ inch. Let's talk about what those numbers mean. This is what ½ inch of freezing rain would look like. Windshields would be coated, bridges can be slick, and you get light ice on trees. ½ inch of freezing rain is in the forecast for most of our viewing area, at least. And this is what ½ inch of freezing rain can look like. Roads become icy, tree limbs start breaking, and power outages become an issue. When you get to ½ inch of freezing rain or more, that's a major ice storm. Travel becomes impossible, and widespread power outages are likely. And this is what we're in the triangle. I say that not to scare you, but we really, truly want you to be prepared for this. A winter storm watch is in place starting Saturday afternoon, and it will go through Monday afternoon. This should be upgraded to a winter storm warning tomorrow morning, so check in with Elizabeth for an update on that. Our winter storm is coming together now in the southwest. It'll really blossom over Texas and the plains tomorrow. As for the timing of when it all arrives, we've got a little bit of rain tomorrow. I show this to you to clarify, this isn't the winter storm. So if you see rain tomorrow, don't worry. It's not starting earlier than planned. It's as we get into Saturday evening that we really start to see the steady stuff arrive. I think this model's running a little fast, but as we get past sunset between about 5 and 7 o'clock, the radar should really blossom with our icy mix. I'll walk you through the rest of the event on Futurecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Kat. We'll check back in. So with the snowy and potentially icy weather that's expected, as Kat said, power outages will be a big concern. WRAL's Willie Danley is joining us live now. So, Willie, you spoke to the utility companies tonight, city officials as well, about how they are preparing for this. What'd they say?
Well, Dan, they tell me that they're doing everything that they can in this moment to prepare for this and to make sure that the power grid is ready as well. They're doing everything from bringing in extra hands, monitoring the forecast, and making sure the crews and equipment is ready. With conditions expected to be dangerous on the roads, these companies and officials are urging people to stay home unless travel is absolutely necessary, even if the power goes out. They tell me having people on the road during an outage puts the crews who are working to restore electricity in danger.
First off, don't go out. Stay in, stay off the roads because they're going to be slick, whether it's snow or ice. If you're out and you see down power lines, make sure you stay as far away from them as possible because you can't tell if they're live.
These companies that I spoke to tell me if your power goes out, just know that the crews are working to restore the electricity as soon as possible. They ask that homeowners be patient and know that the work is being done. We're going to continue to follow this storm. Willie Danley, WRAL News, Raleigh.
We know they'll be working hard, Willie. Thank you. So let's take another quick look at the forecast for Saturday evening into Sunday. This is the map here that shows the totals for the freezing rain expected across our area. So between half an inch of freezing rain in places like Orange and Durham and Wake counties, all the way to an inch. The further south you go, east as well, the further south and east you go, the smaller those totals become. But these forecast totals are significant. Half an inch isn't much when we're talking about snow, but with ice, that is a lot, as Kat was showing us earlier. Our area hasn't seen a forecast like this since 2002. Now, if you lived here for more than 20 years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was December 4th, 2002. It was the ice storm that people referred to as Winter Fran, or Fran with ice, and that was because it was the worst natural disaster in our area since Hurricane Fran in 1996. And the numbers back this up. 1.5 million people in the state lost power. $113 million in property damage happened. 24 people died, a few of them from carbon monoxide poisoning, which is why we always tell you to run those generators safely. We keep running those stories throughout this entire coverage. The way that storm came together and the way that this storm is shaping up is eerily similar. In fact, they are nearly identical. To get a better idea of what may be in store for us this weekend, we want to show you a quick clip from WRAL's coverage of that storm in 2002.
We all knew when we woke up this morning that we'd lost a lot of trees, but we had no idea how many until this morning. It's a mess, and it's going to be a mess to clean up. They began falling in the early morning, crashing to the ground, taking power lines with them. Transformers blowing looked like an artillery barrage. Daylight shows the destruction. Thousands of trees down, some uprooted, others stripped of limbs of all sizes.
Nature's doing some pruning this morning.
Indeed, and it is not a pretty sight. Loaded with ice, they simply can't handle the weight.
Cut some off my line so that hopefully the power lines won't go down into the house. And so we just made coffee in the fireplace. Uh-oh, there goes one.
In the Weather Center with Mike Mays now. We just reminded people about 2002 and the storm then. Anyone who was here for that didn't need reminded. They remember it well. I think what's eerie is how similar that system was compared to the one moving in now. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so you look at the weather map from back in 2002. We had an area of low pressure that was moving along the Gulf Coast coming up toward North Carolina. It fed a lot of moisture in from the Gulf and the Atlantic. At the same time, high pressure was building in from the north. Now, when you want to have a winter weather system that has a lot of frozen precipitation, you really need a strong high to the north that feeds the cold air in. The stronger the high, the colder the air. You want a really strong high to produce snow. That's not the case this time around, and it's not the case back then. It was weak enough where, yeah, you have the cold air, but not cold enough to produce all snow.
This looks like copy and paste.
It is pretty much the same. We have high pressure just sitting to our north, and low pressure will develop over the weekend and track in from the south and west, feeding all that moisture and feeding in all that cold air, and the situation is a nasty ice storm.
The one thing that's been interesting here, though, is that you've been able to see this coming for a while. It's been several days now. How much has the equipment changed for folks in your industry from 2002 and now more than 20 years later?
The models are light years better than what we had back in 2002. When we were forecasting the 2000 snowstorm and really missed that one, it's because the way the weather models were back then, the resolution is so much better, and the computing power is so much better. The access to see the atmosphere around the storms now is much better than it was then. Those high resolution models give you greater detail, there's better accuracy, and we get a better idea what to expect. And now we're thinking we're going to have a major ice storm, and it looks, here's 2002 to 2026, they look eerily the same with the same amount of ice.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Now look, a lot has changed in our area since that last big ice storm in 2002, not just the forecasting of the weather. North Carolina used to react to winter storms, wait until it started, and then do things like cancel schools and roll out the plows. That has changed and really changed about 12 years ago. You remember the snowpocalypse of 2014. Around 5 inches of snow fell, depending on where you lived. And that's a lot less than 20 plus inches that fell in 2000. But the story here wasn't really the amount of snow. It was the traffic nightmare. It was the people who were stranded on the road, and it led to these iconic photos like this one of Glenwood Avenue. Almost looks like it was photoshopped. That's the storm that really changed everything. You see, for years, North Carolina took that reactive approach to winter weather. But ever since 2014, North Carolina has been proactive. For instance, we used to mostly treat the roads with rock salt and with sand. But these days, we have upgraded. It's all about brine. DOT stores millions of gallons of brine statewide. They can deploy 800,000 gallons of this stuff within 48 hours. And they aren't waiting until snow or ice starts to fall. These trucks get going days in advance. We've been covering that. Now, DOT has also upgraded its staff, its technology, and its plan of attack. More than 2,000 state employees are trained to prepare for and respond to winter weather. More than 1,200 trucks with plows and spreaders are out, prepared to be out on the roads. We have hotspot crews now made up of DOT employees and National Guard members. They deploy early to the most problematic areas, ready to respond when they are needed. So keep that in mind. Then there's schools. Remember the snow days of old. You'd sit by the TV or the radio, wait for your school to pop up. Snow day, no class, that sort of thing. Fun for students, a nightmare for school administrators and for parents. Back in the day, if you took a snow day, you might have to make it up at the end of the year, creating all types of logistical problems, which is why superintendents often hung on until the very last minute to call a snow day. The pandemic and remote learning changed all of that. Students can complete work, of course, now at home on a laptop or with packets given to them by their teachers. These things are built into the curriculum and the lesson plans now. So without the threat of makeup day, superintendents can be a bit more aggressive, making the remote learning day decision earlier, giving parents more time to prepare. It's not just the state that's being proactive, though. To their credit, so is Duke Energy. Maybe you've seen these things, these self-healing boxes in your neighborhood. Basically, if a tree takes out a power line, they can cut power to that section and then divert power from another area to limit the impact. So instead of 2,000 people being without power, you have a couple of hundred.
This facility was designed with smart technology to facilitate things like self-healing capabilities. And that's the ability that can automatically detect a power outage and reroute power to other power lines to restore service faster.
Now, we should say not every neighborhood has this technology, but it is spreading, and Duke Energy hopes to have 80% of its customers on this system in the next couple of years. And now I'm wondering, does any of that make you feel any better about this weekend? I'm not sure if it makes me feel any better, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest here. I'm feeling a bit stressed. I think you are, too. I know a lot of people are, my friends, my wife, the people I'm talking to. I've been scrambling around the past couple days, making sure I got all the supplies I need for the storm, just in case. The generator, the gas for the generator, the gas canisters for the gas, power banks for the cell phones, non-perishable food, flashlights, water bottles, ice scrapers, sleeping bags, blankets. It's a lot. The fact is, you should be prepared for power to go out and for the roads to be dangerous. That is the kind of storm that is headed our way. But know this, we've never been more ready to get the lights back on and the roads back open. Let me know how you feel about this incoming weather, this incoming winter storm. Give me your questions. We're looking to answer them. We want you to feel better and be prepared here. So send us emails to 7 p.m. at WRAL.com. What questions do you want us to answer about the forecast, about how to prepare? Nothing is off the table. Send us your questions, and we'll go through some of the answers tomorrow on WRAL News at 7 o'clock. Also, another car crash in Wake County appears to be the result of a police chase. We'll show you what happened on Tryon Road this afternoon. And the monks have officially made it to our area. They're in Chatham County tonight. WRL's Heidi Kirk joins us live from their Walk for Peace in tonight's One Last Thing. Kat?
And the next thing to look out for is an upgrade to a winter storm warning. That'll likely happen tomorrow. Coming up, I'm going to walk you through the timing for when we expect the precipitation to move in and when it clears out on High Resolution Futurecast.
I'm Eric Miller in the WRAL Live Center. If you're working late tonight and having issues with Microsoft Office, Outlook, or Teams, you're certainly not alone. Microsoft is reporting a major issue tonight. Problems all across the country. According to the latest update we got from Microsoft, this was at 5:30. They've been working to rebalance some of the traffic that they're getting on these apps. They say if you're having problems, your services may start gradually returning as they're working to fully resolve this issue. This, of course, a major problem for folks all across the country. We're going to stay on top of this, bring you updates as we get them.
Got it. Thanks, Eric. Police radio traffic suggests that a crash today in Raleigh may have been the result of a police chase. According to police radio traffic, the pursuit ended this afternoon around 1:15. Sky 5 over that scene at the intersection there of Hammond Road and Tryon Road. Video shows one of the vehicles crashed into a tree and the other with heavy front end damage. We saw at least 2 people taken away on stretchers, but don't have any update on their condition. We're still waiting for some confirmation from the State Highway Patrol about any arrests after this chase.
He's throwing drugs out the window. He just hit my windshield with the drugs. Weed, marijuana coming out the window. We got a red light coming up at Hammond Road. Hammond Road, red light. They blew the red light. Stand by, 1050, major 1050, major 1050. Send me EMS 1018.
So today's chase comes after there were 6 pursuits in Wake County alone last week. Annually, Highway Patrol is involved in roughly 1,200 pursuits across the state. Let's check back in with meteorologist Kat Campbell as we continue to kind of analyze this combination of events here that's leading to this ice storm.
And we want to let you know, unfortunately, everything is going to plan so far. Here's the Arctic air mass that's moving in. It's -9 in Minneapolis right now, still 51 in Raleigh, but the cold air is coming. The cold front has passed through, and this is the first part of the equation. We've got the cold air that's going to get here before the moisture does this weekend. High pressure will build in behind this front. There will still be a little bit of rain possible tomorrow. Don't let that catch you off guard. Don't worry and think that the winter storm has started early. It's just some low impact rain for tomorrow. And we've got a little bit of that out there tonight, especially south of 95 and then closer to Fayetteville and Rayford. The power outage throughout this weekend is high from Raleigh points north and west now, and a medium risk for power outages south and east of Raleigh. That risk a little bit lower toward Clinton. The issue here is that ice weighs so much. That glaze of ice on power outages can be a big concern, weighing things down, toppling trees onto power lines as well. And then we've got the wind to continue to contend with on Monday that may only add to the issue. Half an inch to up to an inch in spots of freezing rain will be possible from the triangle north and west, about half an inch south and east of Raleigh. And that threat goes down a little bit as you head further south and east. We will continue to fine tune this map tomorrow. Check in for an update. We're watching that corridor for the greatest icing threat, but that is setting up in at least part of our viewing area. So this is a significant ice storm for us. As for the chance of an inch or more of snow, that chance is pretty low here in the triangle, though you may still see some sleet at the beginning of the event. We do still have a chance for snow up in Roxborough, South Hill, but it's brief. It's at the beginning of the event, and then a bunch of ice falls on top of it and it goes away. So it's not a fun snowstorm for anybody in our viewing area. Saturday afternoon, cloudy skies. It may be dry. We may see a little bit of light patchy precip Saturday afternoon, but Saturday evening is when the widespread steady precipitation starts. It may start as sleet, maybe even some snow in our northern counties, but it transitions Saturday night to freezing rain likely Sunday, though there will be some holes in the radar where we get little breaks in the freezing rain. And then Monday, it is dangerous cold and blustery winds. Friday morning, tomorrow morning, we start out with a small chance for rain, especially in the southern part of our viewing area. That'll clear out Friday evening. Saturday, this model is the fastest, but it's also the highest resolution. So we're going to show it to you, but I do still think it's running a little faster. We'll start to see the steadier stuff move in by the evening. And even then, it's still pretty light at 7 o'clock Saturday evening. You continue to see the freezing rain overnight Saturday. It lightens up at times. There's even some lulls in the freezing rain during the day Sunday, especially by Sunday afternoon when it becomes a bit more patchy. This is a new run of Futurecast, by the way. I'm seeing it in real time with you as we run through it. Sunday night, this final band of rain and freezing rain will swing through the state, and then it clears out of here by the time most of us wake up Monday morning. No huge shifts with this new run of Futurecast here, just the timing of some of those breaks in the precipitation Sunday, a little bit different, but you get the point. It'll be on and off throughout the day. Saturday, just make sure you've completed your preparations by the afternoon. Get ready to hunker down, and it's best to be prepared for this storm. Don't be scared. We will keep you up to date on the WRAL weather and news apps throughout the weekend, so stick with us, and we'll make it through this storm, Dan.
Absolutely. Kat, thank you. For tonight's one last thing, why don't we take a little break from the weather headed our way? Have you been keeping up with the Buddhist monks and their walk for peace through North Carolina? We have. The group is in Chatham County tonight. We got a live update on the other side of the break, and I could use it.
WRAL's Heidi Kirk here live in Chatham County with one last thing. Just within the last few minutes, the monks started handing out peace bracelets as they're making their stop here in Pittsburgh. I'm going to step out of the way and show you the crowds here. Just take a look at how many people have gathered here at the fairgrounds to see them speak along their walk for peace. Now, they are staying here overnight before heading to Apex tomorrow morning. Now, today the monks walked from Siler City, stopping for lunch along the way, and there was a really special moment there. That's where they were reunited with their dog, Aloka. And in just a minute, you're going to see that moment shared here on the monks' Facebook page. Again, really, really special moment. Now, Aloka had been walking with the monks since the beginning of their journey, stopping only to have surgery to repair a knee injury. Now, that's a moment that some people in our area got to witness, including some of the folks who actually were helping their out along the stops. Now, of course, we're going to continue following along with the monks' journey as they continue on their walk for peace. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live in Chatham County.
Thank you, Heidi. We needed some good news tonight. A nice little update from you and the monks. Appreciate it. Stick with us, everybody, over the next couple of days with this winter weather. We'll keep you updated on TV, online, and on social media.